What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends, the Infinity Gauntlet Adam Warlock. This is the fourth or fifth of these figures from this wave, the miniature comic book wave is what I'm calling it, that I am reviewing. I'm going to go ahead and do all 6 of them, but let's look at his package really quick. I don't know too much about Adam Warlock. You know, the obvious retro package, you know, window on the front there, with a picture of all 6 of the figures in there, and it says some shit about Adam Warlock if you want to pause it and read it. But that is enough about this package. We've seen plenty of them. Let's get him out of this package and take a closer look at him. All right, fresh out of the package, I'll go ahead and say I've seen this body somewhere before. But before we dig into that, let's see how tall he is. To the top of his head, he's right at 6.5 inches tall, which would make the whole figure 16.5 centimeters, so I'm going to guess that's right, and I think that's because he's on the Vulcan body. So is this the third frickin' figure from this wave to use the Vulcan body? I think it was on Dakin, and I know for sure that it was on Banshee just the other day. But anyways, the Vulcan body inherently isn't that bad. But let's look at his aesthetic. The Vulcan body doesn't have a bad aesthetic, other than the chest is really flat, and the legs don't quite have enough muscularity as far as like a sweep, you know, in the thigh or whatever to kind of make them just look a little bit wider. But anyways, let's start with his head sculpt, because this thing looks pretty darn good. There's a nice wash in the hair, and the hair sculpt itself looks pretty cool. It's kind of got an 80s kind of look to it. Like this guy, you know, where he's a blonde, he might have been in like the Revenge of the Nerds movies or something. Nerds! 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 Pretty cool little like shading around the eyes right there. Kind of got that emo look, kind of the way Dakin had. So the head sculpt looked really good. Got that hyper realism. But anyways, let's look at his cape. I think his cape looks pretty cool too. Like this skull paint right here probably could have been done a little bit better, and there's a little paint faux pas right there on the collar. If there had been some shading or something done on this damn thing, it's just awfully plain looking, but the sculpt of it does look pretty good. And he really doesn't have paint per se anywhere else on him. He is just a black and red figure. It's just like they just took red plastic from the shoulders down, you know, just from the biceps down. For the arms, and then the legs, this must be painted or something right here. Are these boots, or this, or is this like just his suit does that? I don't know. Somebody tell me down in the comments. I'm not super familiar with exactly what his suit is supposed to look like, but he's pretty fucking plain. So his aesthetic's really not, I mean, it's okay for the shape of it, but it's nothing special. Anyways, let's go over his accessories real quick. Speaking of nothing special, he does come with this really nice head sculpt. So far the head sculpt is definitely the best part of this figure. Oh shit, I put him down. And he comes with 4 hands. He comes with a gripping hand here that will come in handy here in a minute, and he comes with a fucking trigger hand. Hasbro's doing this to us on purpose, people. They're just putting in fucking hands that don't do anything. What does he need a trigger hand for? He doesn't come with a gun. But anyway, that's any freaking way. And he comes with 2 fists, and they look good enough, I guess. And a cool kind of part of this is he comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, and we'll swap that out here in just a second, but that looks pretty cool. Let's not forget the miniature comic book. My, that's where all the money for this figure is going. Again, the small print and stuff, it looks cool, but what is the purpose of these friggin' comic books? Oh my goodness. And he does come with the Staff of Moses, or whatever this is. It is just a plain brown stick with like a eagle or something at the top of it. But bonus, the little eagle part is, you know, it has some articulation, so that's really cool, I guess. But if somebody actually wanted to put like some dry brush or something on this, they could actually make that look kind of cool. He can hold it. I'll demonstrate that way nobody feels shorted. He can hold it, I guess, for, you know, let my people go or you shall not pass, like he's from Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass! Anyways, let's swap out real quick his his little Infinity Gauntlet hand, so you can see that on there. You just would pop a hand off, slide the wrist part on, and then just pop it in, and now he's got the Infinity Gauntlet on. I am going to go ahead and say that this is probably not exclusive just to him. Probably anybody with the Vulcan body, or at least these arms, or arms that aren't a lot bigger, you could probably put this on. But it does look cool, I guess. Anyways, but that's the extent of his accessories. Let's stand him next to Banshee real quick from the same line, and they're the exact same freaking height because they are the exact same body. They're Vulcan, just with different colors. Anyways, they looked good enough. Let's go over his articulation really quick because it's Vulcan, so we're literally going to go through it super fast. Got that same crappy neck joint, so his head will look down good, and if the cape wasn't in the way, it would look up good, and that's about it. And you could twist it around if I took the cape off, and that's, you know, I'll just show you. It's that joint.
Fuck.
I hate it, but they keep doing it. Anyways, his shoulders will go up to 90 with no problem, and if I took his cape off, well, you can still do it 360 degrees. He's got a little bit of something they like to consider a butterfly in there. Not too horrible, I suppose, but not great all at the same time. Got a bicep swivel that has that space right there around the tricep that I'm not a fan of. Double jointed elbow that works really good and doesn't look horrific, and all the wrists are on a hinge and they all have swivel. Got the ab crunch waist twist combo, so let's see how deformed he looks. And yep, plenty of spinal deformation right there and some gapping on top of it. My, that is exquisite. And he'll lean back really far, and he looks like he's been in a horrible accident, but they all do. But the ab crunch does function. Waist swivel, that makes the waist look like that. Anyways. And legs that'll kick out to there. That's not horrible, but again, you know, just like I say each and every time, there's no reason why they can't do a split. It's a very similar design to the Jada toys, and they all can do splits. Pretty piss poor front kick, if you ask me. He's got Warlock booty cheeks.
No surprise here.
So you're not kicking his leg back at all, because this is the crotch piece is all hard plastic. Got a thigh swivel, that thigh swivels. Double jointed knee, that's nice and stiff. That's what she said. Plenty of range, nice proportion. I will give credit where credit's due. An absolutely horrific shin swivel that I wish they would get rid of. An ankle that's a hinge, so all the way down, all the way up with some rocker and no toe hinge. Boots do have peg holes. So overall, Adam Warlock is nothing special whatsoever, but he is not horrible either, because like I've said before, the Vulcan body is not inherently shitty. They reuse it to death, and all they do is just kind of use different colored plastics and call it a completely different figure. I understand saving money, but anyways, this figure is a C+, whichever one you want to give it, because that is a good head sculpt, and I do like the Infinity Gauntlet. And if somebody wanted to take the time to do some dry brush and maybe some wash and stuff on that, they could actually make a pretty cool little staff out of that. Anyways, that's all I've got for Adam Warlock. He's a C+. Buy him if you want him. He's nothing spectacular. Anyways, if you haven't subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.